It's Jason Bible.
Oh, no, not live.
Oh, we're not that part of the live. We're just live on Facebook. Okay. All right, you ready to go?
Yes, sir. Going on in 3, 2.
It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Rob is out of town. In fact, he took his wife with him. So that means Brian and I have 0 adults here in the Mr. Texas Real Estate office. So we don't know what the show's going to be like the rest of the week, but I'm sure it's going to be great. So today, I'm going to talk about real estate investing, and I'm going to break it down as simple as humanly possible. I've had this email rattling around in the back of my mind for the last, week or so, that most people in real estate are too smart, and that's why they're not successful at it. Like you're just too smart for real estate. This business is not difficult at all. It's really simple. And people with real high intelligence, which for the most part correlates with a little bit higher wealth, have a real problem with real estate because they're too smart by half. They're too smart, and that's why they're not successful in real estate. They make it way more complicated than it really is. I've heard people say this before, you've got to dumb it down. Something simple is dumbing it down. I'm like, no, that's not true at all. When you distill something down to its most important elements, that is incredibly difficult because you have to have such a mastery of the topic, of the subject, to break it down to its most critical component parts that anyone can understand. It has nothing to do with being dumb or dumbing something down. In fact, the real genius is in simplicity. So what we're going to do today is make real estate real simple for those of you who are way too smart. Like you make this way harder than it should be. Way harder. It's not that hard. You don't need another class on wholesaling. You don't need another class on flipping. You don't need another class on buy and hold. Like this is really, really easy. It's real simple. Anything outside these 3 steps is A, not real estate investing, or B, you're just trying to get sold in another class. In fact, real estate courses should only give you the technical expertise you need to execute these 3 steps. That's the only point of real estate education. There's a great quote. Elon Musk was on Clubhouse last week, and he was taking questions from the peanut gallery. And somebody said, Elon, what do you do to stay motivated as an entrepreneur? And he said, if you need motivation, do not become an entrepreneur. If you need motivation, do not become an entrepreneur. It's that simple. If you're going to real estate classes and seminars and all that to get motivated, you don't need to be in real estate. Just get out. Stop wasting your time. Just get out now. If you need motivation to get out of bed in the morning, then this is not for you. There's something else going on in your life that needs to be adjusted. Like I get it. I'll tell you right now, I was sitting there this morning, got out of bed, got to bed kind of early last night. I think before 10 maybe, 9:30, 10. Didn't even watch. I think we watched more of the halftime show than we did of the actual Super Bowl. We ended up trying to finish up Billions right now. So got to bed pretty early last night. I don't know what time the alarm went off, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Got out of bed, got dressed, and then it hit me. Oh, first thing I got to do this morning is go to the gym. I'm on a new program now. I did since I guess it was mid-October, I started what's called 5x5. I've been doing that program. I'm going to write a book about all this at some point, by the way. I say that about a couple of things, but this is one, nutrition and fitness. I think that's another industry that is rife with nonsensical BS. It's not that hard. That's what I'm learning. I mean, I was kind of a fitness, I don't want to say fitness guy. I was competitive. So getting a certain level of fitness in certain areas was important if you're competing. But now I'm going back through all that stuff and I'm making it really simple for myself. Here are the 3 or 4 guidelines that you need to follow. So in any case, this morning, wake up, get on the gym stuff, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this new workout I'm on is absolutely brutal. And it's not brutal from a CrossFit, run around, row the machine, do jumping jacks, do burpees, pick up barbell. It's not one of those. It is a hardcore, it's 3 sets, 15, 12, 8. It's progressive. I mean, and it's very focused on the upper body. The actual workout is not that bad. It's the night of and the next day where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. The soreness is ridiculous. I can take a lot of pain, but this is, I'm taking a shower this morning after the gym and I can barely get my hands behind my head. It's that bad. So I need motivation for something like that. And by the way, I don't need that much motivation. I just need to sit there and go, God, I just got to go do this. However, my career, where I make my money, is not an area of my life I need a lot of motivation. I'm not going to become a fitness coach. I'm not going to become a personal trainer. Why? Because I have zero passion for that. I do it because I'm trying to live longer and look better. Really more look better. It's more vanity. Let's just be real honest. When everyone gets on the health kick, it has nothing to do with living longer. It's got everything to do with looking better. So that's the whole goal of this thing, right? One of the things Jim Rohn said is the secret to life is growth. So getting better in every area of your life. So this is one of the things I'm working on. So I need a little bit of motivation to go do that. But I don't work in that industry because I just don't care about it that much. So if you're somebody that's trying to get into real estate and you're like, Jason, I just really got to get this motivation. I got to get on the Jim Rohn thing and I got to, go to all these seminars and real estate classes because it gets me pumped up to do real estate. I'm like, you will never, ever, 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 ever be successful in real estate if that's what you need. Elon Musk hit it right on the head. If you need motivation, do not become an entrepreneur. Oh, it's brutal. Oh, I know everybody gets to be a winner and everybody gets to be a millionaire. That's what we're told in society today, although the reality is that is not true. Some just won't make it. That's the reality of life. But here's what I'll tell you. If you're one of those people that needs to be motivated to go do everything in your life, or if you need to be motivated to do real estate, I'm telling you, you'll be much happier not being in real estate. The reason people need motivation to do certain things is because they really don't bring joy in their lives. So just don't do it. You'll be much happier. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the secrets of real estate and breaking this down real simple for everybody. Not because you're dumb, but because these are the 3 component parts. It's the only thing you have to do to build wealth in real estate. Everything else is technical at that point. Real simple. One of the things I'm fond of saying is real estate is still a blue-collar sport. It's still all right, what kind of grade carpet should we put in? What kind of stuff should we put on the walls? I just got off the phone with an architect about a property I'm doing right now. And we're talking about nuts and bolts we didn't know there was an addition on this house. And all of a sudden, where are the load-bearing walls? And somebody didn't get up in the attic. I mean, it's all that kind of nonsense. But if you need motivation to go do real estate, this is not for you. Now, if you are a self-motivated person, you're like, I kind of like this real estate thing. I like buying houses. I like the whole process. This is going to be a good show for you. But like Elon said, if you need the motivation, don't do it. All right, we get back from the break. I'm going to start breaking these component parts down to how to be successful in real estate. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. So I'm going to make real estate real simple for everybody. And this is not a motivational crowd. This is not the, you got to get up and you got to put your vision board together. I've never done a vision board. I just thought of that. I've never done a vision board. I don't have an account where I can go in and look at this. This is the things that I dream of. One of the things, and I am a big fan of Jim Rohn, it's not becoming a millionaire or a decamillionaire, or centimillionaire, a billionaire that's important. What's important is who you become through that process. That's why you can hand somebody, let's say a winning lottery ticket of $100 million, and something like 80 or 90% of them go bankrupt in the first 5 years. It's not the money that makes you successful. It's the person you become. That's what makes you successful. So today we're going to talk about the 3 parts of real estate investing. This is all it is. I promise you. I've done over 1,000 deals. I've been a part of, between the folks in our mastermind and students in my previous company, I bet 10,000 transactions. The number of transactions has to be ridiculous. It's a lot. So maybe with somebody out there with more experience, we can debate. One of my favorite quotes of late is, I debate my equals, all others I teach. I get into some of these groups of folks who've got 10 houses and they want to debate how real estate really works. And I'm like, you don't understand, man. This isn't a debate. And I'm not trying to be rude, but let's be honest here. There's folks who have a lot of experience and there's everybody else. So this is just my experience. If you've got more experience than me, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. But this is real estate all in a nutshell. It is literally this simple. Do not make it more difficult than this. All of you people who think you're smarter than everybody else, I'm telling you, this is it. It's 3 parts. This is 3 parts of building wealth. This works for residential and commercial. It works in just about any industry, any investment, any asset class. Just about. But I can tell you it's 100% true in real estate. Step 1, buy. Step 2, wait. Step 3, sell. Buy, wait, sell. That's it. That's the whole world in a nutshell. Now, I know some of you guys already think, but you got to buy it this % off and you got it for the repairs. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. Should have bought 5 at the retail price. You do not need a discount when you buy. You just need to buy it. You need to buy it. And then what's the next step? You need to wait. Here's the problem with everybody in this industry. You think you're too smart for the market. By the way, the market will smack you down so hard that you'll learn this lesson over and over. In fact, this morning I went to the gym, driving over the house I have in the Heights, and then I went over to the house I've got in Spring Branch. So driving over the Heights, and I was just thinking about real estate investors. I pop open my Facebook, and I'm looking at various real estate investors all across the country. Their stuff's popping up. It's Monday morning. People are doing job walks. Folks are signing contracts and talking about closings on Friday. And it's just normal. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you'll see the normal nonsense of people I hang out with. I shouldn't say hang out with, but folks that follow me on Facebook. And it's the day in the life of, a real estate investor. Some people are posting checks like they won the lottery. It's like $20,000 check, man. What's a big deal? Anyway, so they're posting all this stuff, and I'm just sitting there in the back of my mind, and I'm like, these people, I've only been in this industry since 2013. This will be year number 8 for me. So let's call it 7 years. I've been in this business 7 years, and I'm watching people who've been in this business for over 20 years, and I'm wondering why they aren't richer. I'm wondering why these people aren't more wealthy than me and Rob. Like that is I'm sitting there and I'm like, how is it possible that they are wildly more wealthy than I am. And I'm asking that question not as an arrogant jerk, but I'm really asking the question of where did they go wrong? When I used to teach seminars, there's two things that you can learn from people. I used to get on stage and say, I've been in this industry 7. Like if I wanted to, it would be, what color Lambo are we driving today? Like, what have you been doing for 20 years? And then I start picking at it. I'm like, what have you been doing for 20 years? Like, what have you been doing? Because clearly you should be more successful. That's how my mind works is, why aren't you more successful? So they're either a warning or someone you should mimic, someone you should follow. I watch on Facebook, like some of these Facebook Lives, like some of these people have been doing this 20 years. And I'm like, you're giving the same information you gave 5 years ago when I got in this business. As far as I can tell, you're not any richer. Like, why are you not? I don't get it with some of these guys. If I've been in this business 20 years and we're not talking about getting on my plane, I've screwed up somewhere in a big way. That's how my mind works. And so this morning, as I'm going from the gym, it's kind of like if I had told somebody, oh yeah, man, if you guys can see me, I'm kind of, average middle-aged dude. If I told somebody, oh yeah, man, I've been working out 2 hours a day for the last 25 years and I eat real clean, you would laugh. You're like, really? I mean, you're not like obese or anything, but I mean, you're not like I figured if you had been working out for 25 years now and you've been eating clean every day, you'd be a pretty ripped dude. I mean, you wouldn't look like this. So I have this thought as I'm going from the gym to the house. I'm having this thought as I'm looking at all these real estate investors who have been in this business for 10, 15, 20 years. I'm like, why aren't you richer? And it's like they're doing the same thing. And then I realize I'm like, oh, we're missing something here. We're not talking about what plane you're buying this year because you screwed up one of 3 parts of being a real estate investor because you thought you were smarter than the market. We get back from the break. I'm going to break these 3 things down and where people get wrong. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. If this doesn't generate some hate email, I don't know what will. Get them thinking a little bit. All right. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Today we're talking about the 3 critical components of real estate investing. It is literally this simple. If you make it more difficult than this, you will not get rich doing it, or it'll take you much longer. You'll never hit your potential. I can tell you that right now. You'll never hit your potential if you make it more difficult than this. I get it. You're all smarter than the market. Jason, I'm smarter than you. You're just some dude on the radio. Great. All right, you win. I'm not worried about who's smarter. I'm worried about who's getting richer. You want to be smart and languish in, real estate purgatory at the Red Roof Inn, some RIA club in Reno? Have at it, dude. But I'll tell you, it's no more difficult than these 3 steps. It's no more difficult than this. You buy, wait, and sell. That's it. That's the whole game in a nutshell. You buy, wait, and sell. You can pay retail for a house, rent it out. By the way, we should change this. Rent, being a landlord, means wait. I think a lot of people mistake this where they say, well, it's $300-$400 a month in cash flow, and if I get like 100 of these, I'm making $30,000 a month for a company in almost 2 years. That's pretty standard. If you take money out of a company before it's about 2 or 3 years old, you're failing at the waiting part. You've got to wait because that money needs to get reinvested because you grow faster. Why do you not take a salary out of a company first 2 or 3 years? Because I need to start hiring people to do the jobs that Rob and I are doing. There's a reason we're running out of office space in a building we moved into a couple of months ago. Like in our section, in fact, we're about to take an entire wing out just because we're going to need the space for another company we're starting. But are we going to take any money out of that company? Not for 2 years because we have to wait. Millionaire overnight. And I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite things, and Rob reminded me of this last week. You get somebody in a real estate seminar and they go, Jason, my goal is next year to make $1 million. And I'm like, great. What's the most you've ever made in a year? $100,000. I'm like, uh-huh. So in a year, you have to get 10 times better at earning in a new industry. Yes. Okay. Let's put on a little realism here. You're not going to make $1 million this year. Maybe in 5 years, but not this year. Let's work on getting you to $100,000 a year. Let's do that first. What does that look like? We can put some goals around that. I mean, I get it. Your vision board has Bentleys and airplanes and all that other nonsense on it. But let's talk about what's real. What can you reasonably achieve in a reasonable amount of time? That's why the 3 parts of real estate investing are so simple. It's buy, wait, sell. I'll hear this. Well, Jason, not all real estate's guaranteed to go up in value. Then you're investing in the wrong markets. Because all of it does eventually. That's not a Texas problem. I can tell you that. We got plenty of appreciating real estate here. But here's the reality. Of the 5 ways you can make money in real estate, only one of them matters. I'm going to say that again. Of the 5 ways you make money in real estate, only one of them matters, and that's appreciation. Everything else is a sideshow. Liar. Because the math is really simple. How do you build wealth in real estate? There's only one way, it's appreciation. You do not build wealth through cash flow. You don't build wealth through depreciation. You don't build wealth through equity at the time of purchase or debt pay down. You absolutely do not build wealth those ways. There's only one way to build wealth in real estate. It's appreciation, period. There's no debating that. If there's any debate, it's someone who doesn't have enough experience or they're trying to sell you something. So the problem is, if appreciation is the name of the game, how do we get it? After we buy, we wait. I'd also be very cautious of the real estate investors that constantly refi property. Oh, Jason, I got 50% equity in this thing. I'm going to refi and take my money out. Why? Well, because I'm taking my money out and go, are you buying more real estate with it? Well, maybe. But I haven't really found another property. I'm like, well, why don't you just wait? If you don't need the money, leave it in the deal. The real estate investor that constantly goes through and refis and refis and refis and refis, and their portfolio is not getting bigger, or it's getting marginally larger, or they really don't need the money in the first place, is not going to be successful long term. Just leave the dollars in. If you don't need the money, leave it there. It's the wait. And I love how the geniuses of smart in real estate investing say, well, take out any of that debt equity as fast as possible. I'm like, no, you don't. You wait. The genius in real estate has nothing to do with you as a person. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. It has nothing to do with what seminar you signed up for or what coaching program or mentoring program you're in. The genius in real estate has everything to do with what happens over time in the marketplace. If you talk to any really successful real estate investor, they will admit this to you and go, we just started buying these things in this one area, and, they went from 5% a year appreciation to 15, then 20, and then all of a sudden I had 60% equity in them, and then we sold 2 of them, and then we went and bought a commercial building. Like, that is how real estate, that's how the game is really played. They're not posting checks on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is everybody's listening to these days. This topic doesn't make for a really sexy clubhouse webinar, whatever you call a clubhouse. Let me give you the 3 secrets to real estate. And the most important one is sit on your hands and do nothing. The most important part of real estate is do nothing. After you buy, sit on your hands, do nothing. This is what blows people away, because it's this simplicity here, because it has nothing to do with you. I get it. You think you're really smart and you're a real bright guy. And you've gone to every coaching program, every webinar. I joke about this, and it's true. I know people who know more about real estate than I do that have never bought a property. Heck, I'd almost argue that most people in real estate, if they've been in a little while, probably know more about real estate than I do. Now, they don't know more about marketing and sales or analytics. I can tell you that. But they know more. Oh, Jason, you got this, and you do this with the land trust. I'm like, I don't even know what any of that is. Here's what I do. I buy, I wait, and then I sell it. But the hardest part for the busybody smart guy is the waiting. Oh, I can't wait. You have to wait. That's the critical part of this game. We get back from the break. We're going to talk about these 3 parts. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. It's the last one?
This is going to be the last one right here.
Excellent, because I am starving. I am not in the waiting mode for lunch. Definitely not in the waiting mode for lunch.
All right, got the last one ready. Going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I'm talking about the 3 parts today that are critical to real estate investing, and one that is absolutely required, and that is waiting. It's more difficult than that. Don't make it. But Jason, you could butt yourself all you want. I don't care. I'm not listening. Buy, wait, sell. It takes time. I did a pork butt, a pork shoulder, a Boston butt, whatever you guys want to call it. I did one of these, it started Saturday night and finished in time for dinner on Sunday. And you cannot microwave. Let me explain what a pork butt is. It's actually a piece of shoulder and out of a pig. And the piece I had was about 11 pounds. And it looks like a big ball of meat. 11 pounds. It's about size of your head. Probably a good size comparison if you've never seen one. And you can get them at HEB, you can get them at your butcher, whatever. So I pick them up when they're on sale. I will tell you this. A little shout out to our friends at HEB here. I love that HEB app, and I shop the HEB app like I do Auto Trader. Like, I'm always on Auto Trader looking for deals. I'm looking at all different cars. But I go over that HEB app, and I'm like, what's on sale? What can I get today? I don't know. This is part of the adventure. I can do it from home. Then I just drive over there, and they put it in the back of my truck. It's great. Or I can have it delivered to the house. I probably ought to do that more often, have it delivered to the house. But anyways, I sit there and watch the sales. And so when the pork butt gets to like $12, $13, it's like $1.50 a pound or something. I can't remember. It's under $2 a pound. $10, $15 for a pork butt, Boston shoulder, whatever you call it. Then I'll do one. But you've got to understand, these things are full of fat. Like, it's good meat, but you can't microwave it. You can't put it in your oven. It's got to slow cook. Why does it have to slow cook? Well, the meat's full of fat. It's actually full of what's called collagen. That's the fat that's in that meat. So that collagen is a connective tissue for the muscle that's in the meat. And what has to happen is, over the duration, whether you're smoking it on a smoker, or you're roasting it, or you're putting it into a crock pot, what has to happen is, at a certain point, the temperature starts some chemistry in the meat. and that meat goes from collagen to gelatin. This happens in all forms of smoking meat. Happens in brisket, happens in ribs, happens in just about any meat that you prepare long term. It's going to have this breakdown process. And what happens is, temperature-wise, your meat gets up to a certain temperature and then it flatlines. It'll come up to, 125, 140, 150 degrees, and then it just stops. The temperature no longer rises for like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 hours. Well, what's happening? That fat, that collagen, is rendering into gelatin. It's turning into something, it is breaking down the fat. And if you get impatient and you pull that brisket or that pork butt off of your smoker, it's going to taste awful. It's going to be hard, it's going to be chewy, it's not good. It's awful. The key to smoking meat is wait. It's just waiting. And when people ask, like, hey, like yesterday, I got asked, hey, what time is it going to be done? I don't know, whenever it's done. Well, how do you know it's done? Well, it hits 190 to 205 degrees. You stick a little thermometer in it. If it's close to 200, now you can pull it off and you put it in a cooler. That's the only, when's it done? I don't know. When it's done. It has nothing to do with how good you are at smoking meat. It has nothing to do with how good your equipment is. It has nothing to do with what you got your PhD in. That piece of meat is done when it's done. You have nothing to do with it. And when I first started doing it, especially when I used to host these really big parties, and we'll get back to that once we get out of the COVID stuff. We'll start hosting big parties where I'm smoking a whole bunch of meat. And people ask me, well, Jason, what happens if it's not ready? I'm like, well, it's not ready. Well, can you speed it up? No, I can't. There is nothing I can do. If I impose my will on this 10-pound piece of meat, it doesn't get done any faster. It gets done when it's done. Well, Jason, I want to be a millionaire this year. Look, you can impose your will on the marketplace. I'm telling you, you ain't going to make $1 million this year. Not with your skill set. I want this house to double in value in a year. You have nothing to do with that. You buy and you wait. Then you sell. Well, Jason, what happens if there's a real estate crash in the middle of the wait? You wait some more. You wait some more. Well, Jason, what if I don't have time to wait? Then you waited too long to start. Buy, wait, sell. It's no more difficult than that. It's the waiting. But everybody wants to seem like a genius online or in a seminar or at a networking event. It's the waiting. Because it goes right at your ego. Why am I not successful in real estate? Because you're not waiting enough. You buy and you wait. You sit on your hands and do nothing. You want to know how to get rich in real estate? Go buy a piece of real estate, a single family home every month, and then go home and play Call of Duty. Sit on your hands and do nothing. Go to the gym. Ride the bike. Go on vacation. The best real estate investors, once they buy it and they rehab it and put somebody in there to pay them their monthly lease, they do nothing else with that property. They don't go out and refi and take every little bit of equity out. They don't try and do a owner finance deed of trust with the land. They don't do a lease option sandwich. You buy and you wait. By the way, I've never met anybody who's been successful in any of that other nonsense. Well, actually, there's one guy here in Houston I know that's really successful. That's it. The most successful investors I know, they buy a piece of real estate, they wait, and then they sell it. When do they sell it? When it's done. When's it done? I don't know. What are your goals? I prefer when it doubles in value. I've got a property, and this is my favorite little case study. All into this house for $110. When am I going to sell it? Probably when it's worth $220. And even then, I'm not sure I want to sell it. Why? Because I got plenty of money. Got plenty of money to do deals. I might just sit on it. I may just pay the thing off. I mean, technically, that pork butt I got on the west side of town is done. I don't have to take it out of the smoker. Was it going to dry out? No, it's got a ton of fat in it. It's got a ton of fat in it. It's not going anywhere. In fact, the best part is it's just getting more expensive every day. Maybe I'll sell it when it's worth $350, $400. And I joke, and people who haven't been in this business long enough will say, well, there's no way that house is going to be worth $400,000. I said, you know what's funny? The same guy told me that 2 years ago when I told him it's going to be worth $225. Buy, wait, sell. It's no more difficult than that. And the problem all these real estate investors have is their ego gets wrapped up in the nonsense. And when your ego gets wrapped up in this nonsense, that's when you're not reaching your full potential. That's when you're not getting as rich as you should. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Boom. Who's ready for lunch? Thank you, A-Rock.